Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are like me and you watch a lot of cooking videos on YouTube, you know one thing for sure, that the Italians have no chill when it comes to cooking Italian food. On almost every single video recipe, whether it's made by an Italian or not, there are at least 100 angry Italian people telling that person that they are doing it wrong and that is not how the dish is made. Which is why I've been very cautious when I make Italian food on the show. And I always say this is my keto version. But recently I fell in love with Hungarian food. Yes, and I made an Hungarian goulash on the show. If you haven't seen that video, click here on the I button and watch it. And I realized that the Hungarians also don't have a lot of chill when it comes to Hungarian food. I got a lot of angry Hungarians going, that is not how it is made, you are doing it wrong. And truth be told, yes, I did play around with the recipe a bit. It was more of a stew than it was a soup because goulash is more soupy. But I wanted to make it slightly thicker. So anyway, I took that liberty and I was told off. So I was a little cautious when I attempted my second Hungarian recipe, which was a chicken paprikash. That was a little better. It did not get as much hate, but there was one lady who said, I love your cooking and you should keep cooking, but never make Hungarian food. And of course, you know, when someone tells me to never make Hungarian food, you know what's going to happen, right? I am going to have Hungarian Food Month. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hungarian Food Month here on Headbanger's Kitchen. And for today's recipe, we are going to be making Rakott Krumpli, which is potato casserole. That's the literal translation. It is a Hungarian dish made with potatoes, sour cream, sausage and boiled eggs. And I know what you guys are saying. Sahil, potatoes on keto, how can we eat that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said it before, I'll say it again. Cauliflower is the new potato. Anyway, I think that is the most amount of jibber jabber I've ever done before a recipe video. So enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a saucepan because we need to boil some eggs. So I'm going to put my eggs into that saucepan and then I'm going to add just enough water in the saucepan to cover the eggs. And then that goes onto my stove. It goes on a medium-high heat till the water starts bubbling. Once the water starts bubbling, we are going to turn the heat down to low and let this cook for a full 10 minutes. So set a timer and just let this sort of cook on a low heat for 10 full minutes. Once the timer goes off, it's time to turn off the stove and to take the eggs off the heat and then to run them under some cold water to stop the cooking. Once you've done that and the eggs have cooled down, it's time to peel the eggs. And there are many ways to peel an egg. You can tap the bottom, you can tap the top, you can roll it on its side, you can do it under running water. Whichever way works for you, make sure you peel your eggs and then set them aside. The next thing we're going to do is cook our keto potatoes. And by keto potatoes, I mean cauliflower. So just take the whole head of cauliflower and put it in a pot of boiling water and cover it and let it cook for 10 whole minutes. And of course, make sure that you season the water with salt like you would do when you're making pasta. Anyway, after about 10 minutes, once your cauliflower is boiled, get it out of that water and set it aside and let it cool down. And to know your cauliflower is done, just run your knife through the stem and it will cut through like butter. Once the cauliflower has cooled, we're going to chop it up. Now I'm going to cut the stem off and slice it like I would slice a potato. So I get these nice round shaped cauliflower. As for the florets, you can just cut right through it. And honestly, you can cut it any way you like. I'm doing it in a bit of a haphazard manner, but I'm just trying to cut as many long strips as I can out of this. The next thing I'm going to do is take some sour cream and put it in a bowl so that it can come to room temperature. And I thought I'll use about 300 grams, but then I thought to myself, nah, I need a little more. So I used 400 grams of sour cream. Anyway, I set that aside and now onto the sausage. Now for this recipe, ideally you want Hungarian sausage, but since I don't have access to that, I'm using chorizo, and I'm using this beautiful chorizo that I got from the UK. Anyway, take the chorizo out of the packet, and normally your chorizo will have like a skin on it which you want to remove. You can eat the skin, but I just prefer to remove it. So anyway, sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle, but I got rid of the skin, and then I sliced the chorizo. And then I looked at the chorizo long and hard, and I thought to myself, this will not be enough. I need to cut some more chorizo. So I got the other link of chorizo, I took out the skin of that, and then I sliced that up as well. And then my chorizo was ready. Now what I'm going to do is get a frying pan on the stove, and I am going to heat up a tablespoon of goose fat. Of course, if you don't have goose fat, you can use butter, you can use olive oil, you can use coconut oil, whatever suits your fancy. The original recipe uses lard. And now I'm going to throw my chorizo into that goose fat and fry it till it's nice and crispy. Now once again, you don't have to fry the chorizo. You can put it as it is into the casserole, but trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this will get it nice and crispy and it will be delicious. Just trust me on this. Anyway, fry that chorizo on both sides, and the chorizo itself will release its oils and fat, and it will mix with the goose fat, and it's going to be delicious. And don't worry, we're going to use all the fat and we're going to actually put it into the sour cream. So anyway, let that chorizo fry, and once it's fried and crispy, we're going to take it out with a slotted spoon and leave all the chorizo oil and the goose fat in the pan. The next thing you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is take your sour cream, and you're going to season the sour cream with some salt and some pepper. And then what you're going to do is all the fat that was there in the pan from frying the chorizo, you're going to pour that hot fat into the sour cream, and you're going to give it all a good whisk. And why am I telling you this and not showing it to you? Because my camera did not film that part. So now it's time to layer our casserole dish, and I am going to start by putting a little bit of that delicious sour cream mixture at the bottom of it. Now you can also just grease the bottom with lard or with butter, no problem, but I just thought it would be better to add the sour cream because I've got so much of it. Onto that, I'm going to layer my cauliflower, which actually some of those pieces look like potatoes. So make sure you get it around the whole baking dish, spread it out nice and even, and then onto that goes the crispy chorizo. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, be generous. You want every spoonful to have chorizo in it. So spread it out, and then it's time to slice the boiled egg and put that on as well. So slice that boiled egg. Now my knife is not super sharp, so it's not very dangerous what I'm doing. But ladies and gentlemen, don't try this at home. Slice your eggs using an egg slicer or on the cutting board. Don't do this. This is for the professionals only. Or if you do it, I'm not responsible for what happens. And of course, don't forget to season those eggs because they haven't been seasoned. So just some salt and some pepper. Anyway, once the egg has been added, I'm going to top it with some more sour cream. Yeah, baby. Put that sour cream on and be generous. Or maybe be stingy depending on how much sour cream you have. Or also depending on how much sour cream you like. Anyway, once that's done, we put on the final layer of cauliflower. And I've got these nice big pieces. And I think this will be a lot lighter to eat as well compared to potatoes, which are quite dense. Anyway, once you've layered on that final layer of cauliflower, sour cream it is on the top once again, and just spread that around. Now ladies and gentlemen, this is where it would stop for most Hungarian people and the casserole goes into the oven. But because we're on keto and because this is my version of it, I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on it. Because you know what? That cheese will melt, it will become nice and crispy on the top, and it will be delicious. So put some cheese on the top. You can use cheddar, you can use whatever you like. It's completely up to you. And finally, a dash of Hungarian paprika right over the top. Anyway, that looks beautiful, and into the oven it goes. And as always, make sure your oven is preheated. and we're going to cook this at 200 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 30 minutes. And after about 25 minutes, mine was ready. And oh yeah, that looks really good and I can't wait to dig in. But of course, I would not do that without showing it to you on camera. And there you have it. Rakott Krumpli done. Anyway, time to taste. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to taste the Rakott Krumpli. I still don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I do enjoy saying it. Rakott Krumpli. Anyway, time to taste. I've got a piece of that cauliflower that looks like the potato. I got some of the chorizo. Let me get a little bit of that egg as well. Okay, it's all not fitting on the fork. Ugh. Okay, maybe it is. Ugh. Okay, I'm destroying it, but anyway, let's dig in. Oh, yum. I especially like the cheese on the top, which has gotten all crusty, like in a good way. You know, when the cheese becomes nice and brown. Some more cauliflower. I'm gonna be very honest, guys. The sour cream adds a totally different taste to this, like from what I'm imagining in my head, because it's cream, there's some cheese, but the sour cream gives you that sour note and it doesn't really feel that heavy. Like when I was putting it together, the amount of cream that I put in and the little cheese on top, I definitely sort of envisioned it tasting a bit like my keto mac and cheese. I don't know if you've seen that video or tried that recipe. You know, click here on the I button and check it out. But that's what I was thinking of in my head. But this is definitely something different, and I'm intrigued. I'm enjoying it, but I'm a little confused at the same time. But nonetheless, I am enjoying this, and I'm gonna. Oh, when you get that egg yolk. Oh wow. The egg yolk. You'd think the egg would get overcooked in this because you're cooking the eggs twice, but it's great. Anyway, that's enough jibber jabber out of me. I'm gonna go enjoy this, and I will see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen. Cheers and keep cooking. More Hungarian dishes? Yay or nay? It doesn't matter cause I'm making them anyway. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to Headbanger's Kitchen for more awesome keto recipes, and I will see you guys real soon. The next episode, like I always do. Cheers.